All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Northampton Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Wednesday, April 27th, 2022. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll start with a Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So as we get started tonight, just a quick announcement, and then we have some special presentations. I failed to mention at the last meeting, but as you may notice, the room here looks different than it has in the past. The room is getting some much needed attention on the walls, paint, some technology upgrades, et cetera. And you'll also notice that the flags for the flag ceremony that we had done for many years that is behind us is no longer there. Our intention is to move the flag display and preserve it. It's a very important part of the township's history, and as we use what's behind us for some different things, like you see the 300th anniversary today, we do want to find a way to preserve that. So the township staff is working on some different options to preserve that and some locations. So that's more to come in the future. So we have some really good stuff tonight. We have a few special presentations. In May, there is going to be EMS Week, Emergency Medical Services Week. Also, Police Week is in May, and also Public Works Week is in May. So I'm going to start and ask the Board of Supervisors to come down, and we'll start out with the Police Department and Dr. Rose.
I could not be more honored than to honor you guys for all the work that you do for our community, keep us safe. And a couple things in our recognition of Police Week. It's important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibility of the police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. During Police Week, we commemorate police officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. All I could say is that our police force is the heart of our community, and we cannot be more grateful or more thankful for everything that you guys do for us.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. On behalf of the Northampton Township Police Department, I want to thank all of you for recognizing the hard work of our officers and the service to our community. And this really means a lot. We'll display it prominently at our new headquarters. And again, thank you very much. This is Lieutenant Egan, Lieutenant Pinkerton. Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate the recognition.
Pictures. Come on in, let's get pictures.
You guys can go. I always feel so short.
It's like, we're like,
Kim over there?
Oh, my gosh.
No offense, Kim.
hey, watch it.
Thanks. Thank you. Good. Thank you, sir. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
All right, so Mr. Pellegrino, I'm going to provide this in recognition of National Public Works Week in 2022. And I'll say this is probably a very underappreciated thing. When things are running well, you don't get noticed. But in my brief time on the board, I've already grown a tremendous appreciation for all the things that go on behind the scenes. Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Pennsylvania. So in recognition of that, I'd like to present you with this. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. I'm here representing our Public Works Department tonight because they could not be here. I couldn't be more grateful for all the work that they do, and many of us don't actually see what they do from day to day, but they do a tremendous job, and they are the best of the best, just like our police department. Thank you very much.
EMS? Hi, everybody. So thank you for coming. National Emergency Medical Services EMS Week is May 15th to May 21st. And I just want to say that I have the fortune of working with you guys in my capacity as fire chief day in and day out. And I find that to be very fortunate. But what's more fortunate is that we have you in this township. You guys are the best of the best. I see it every day. And there's one part of this proclamation that I think really says it all, and I do want to read it out loud. Access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and that's you guys. So I'm not going to read the whole proclamation, but we want you to know that we're behind you guys all the way, and thanks for everything you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the Board of Supervisors for your support. We are very appreciative. Our members work very hard every day and are well supported by the community and the townships that we serve, especially here in Northampton. So we're very grateful to be recognized and have the opportunity to be before the board today. So thank you very much.
Did I ruin your picture? No.
Thank you, everybody. Fortunately, I have people that help me remember things to do, and something I didn't do earlier is that Supervisor Paula Gasper is attending the meeting. She is on via Zoom, and she'll be up on the big screens anytime that she speaks or votes or anything like that. So she is present. Paula, can you hear us? Say hello. There she is. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay,
Hello,
very
everyone.
good. So,
Thank you.
sorry about that. I just get right into it. Next on the agenda is consent items, and we'll go to, oh, I'm sorry, back up. Public comment. Public comment is for agenda items only. Is there anybody signed up for public comment? Okay, check. Now we'll go to consent items. Paula, approval of the minutes?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, if there are no objections, I request that the minutes of March 23rd be approved by unanimous consent.
Any objections? No. Okay, approved by consent. Thank you, Paula. Accounts payable, Kim?
I have the bills list for April 13th, 2022. Total all funds, $3,867,248.35. And I have the bills list for April 27th, 2022. Total all funds, $1,432,993.07.
Are there any questions? Okay, approved by consent. Thank you. Next, we're going to have a public hearing to consider amendment adopting the 2018 International Fire Code. Call the hearing to order. Barry?
Do we have somebody taking stenograph, or we don't need that?
I don't think so.
Okay,
We're
sure.
good.
Thanks, Adam. So this is more of a housekeeping thing. Every 3 years, the international... Very good. This is more of a housekeeping thing. Every 3 years, the International Fire Code is updated. We need to adopt that code as part of our township ordinance to make sure that any construction or building done in the township is done according to this fire code. So I'm making a motion today, if I could, just to adopt that as part of Ordinance 613. So if I can make the motion, I'll do that, Adam.
Okay, do it. They do public.
Then I thought we had public comment afterwards. Yeah,
This one does need public comment, so go
Yeah,
ahead.
so,
Thank you.
and once again, this is a thing that's been done every 3 years to make sure that the township's in full compliance with the most recent International Fire Code for safety pertaining to the construction of buildings. So I move for approval of ordinance number 613, adopting the 2018 International Fire Code.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any board comment? Barry, anything additional?
No, I think it's just important that the township stays on top of the ordinance that we have pertaining to building and construction in the township. Obviously, fire safety is a critical aspect of that, and I make sure, by having this as part of the code, the ordinance, they make sure we can have enforcement rights, which is important, so.
Thanks, Barry. Kim, anything else? to
I
add?
agree with Mr. Moore.
Bob?
Agreed, it's a safety issue, that's the most important thing we can do.
Paula, any comment?
Nope, I agree. Safety is the most important.
I have no comments either. I'm happy to see that we're keeping up with the codes. In this particular case, because it's a public hearing, is there any public comment on this issue specifically? Okay, no public comment. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Hearing is concluded. Next, new business, and we have road milling bids. Bob?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the bids are in. There was a single bid through the pen bid system from James Morrissey in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If I may make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
I move to award a bid to James D. Morrissey Incorporated of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for roadway milling in the amount of $2.12 per square yard for 2-inch maximum depth milling, $40.43 per square yard for full-depth reconstruction based on quantities determined by the township engineer, and installation of 2 bottomless inlets on Elm Avenue for an estimated total contract cost of $451,040.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Bob, anything further?
No, nothing further.
Kim?
I know that the people on Elm Avenue will be happy about that.
Yes. Paula, any comment?
Yeah, great, wonderful.
Barry?
No, I agree, and I second Kim's comment about Elm Avenue. I think that's, I travel it every day, twice a day, so.
Yeah, it definitely needs attention. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sure.
Just real quickly. Just so everyone knows, we are doing reconstruction on portions of Elm Avenue, and there will be times when the road will be closed to traffic at various points along the road. So just want to let the public know to expect that. We don't expect it to be closed very long, I don't believe, but there will be days when the road will be closed to traffic.
Yes, it would just be portions of the road most likely too, so a minor inconvenience for a long-term benefit.
Yes, for sure. And just I'll always remind everybody to keep up to date on any immediate happenings and current events. Sign up for the email server on the township's website. And also a great way to watch traffic is the police department is pretty good at getting things up on their Facebook page as they happen. It's not always depending on how busy they are, but it is a good place to watch for conditions. Next, we have a resolution authorizing a DCED grant application for the Northampton Crossing Basin improvements. Kim?
Yes, as required by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, the township approves every 5 years a municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4 plan, which spells out and projects to meet the minimum requirements for sediment and phosphorus reduction in the Neshaminy Creek watershed. The current MS4 plan expires May 31st, 2024. Now, to fund these projects and meet the MS4 requirements, the township has sought grant sources. In early 2022, the township was awarded a partial DEP Growing Greener program grant to retrofit the stormwater basin at the intersection of Holland Road and Upper Holland Road in the Northampton Crossing neighborhood. The purpose of this project is to improve an existing basin by constructing new best management practices, which include the design and construction of bioretention areas to improve water quality, reduce sediment, release and plant water-tolerant perennials, plantings to reduce flow. The estimated project cost is $580,000, and the DEP grant award was $300,000. Now, because of this shortfall in funding, the administration is recommending that the township seek an additional grant through the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for a watershed restoration and protection program. The grant could cover the remaining $280,000, and if successful, the township would not need to contribute any funds towards this project. The grant program requires a resolution from us, and I'd like to make a motion.
Please.
I move to adopt Resolution R22-11, authorizing the township manager to file a grant application with the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Watershed Restoration and Protection Program to improve the detention basin on Holland and Upper Holland Roads as required by the Municipal Separate Stormwater System permit, and to authorize the township manager to execute all documents and agreements required by the grant program.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anything further, Kim?
I think that our township, we were just at PSATs, and I have to tell you that our township is way in front of a lot of other townships by working on our stormwater retention basins. A lot of townships aren't moving as close as we are. So I'm pretty proud that our township is doing this. So.
Thanks, Kim. Bob?
Just if it's granted, it relieves our taxpayers of any burden on a project that needs to be done, so that's a win-win.
Excellent. Yep. Barry?
No, I agree.
Paula?
Yeah, I think that'll be even nicer. Thank you.
I agree as well. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have liaison reports. Dr. Rose.
Okay. The first thing I just wanted to talk about is at the Senior Center, there's going to be a Spring Fling shopping event on Friday night. There's a lot of great vendors, and you can get all kinds of great gift baskets and all kinds of bath, jewelry, baked goods. But it should be a really fun event at the Senior Center this Friday, April 29th, between 5 and 9 p.m. I will be there with bells on, so I hope to see everybody there. Now, Parks and Rec, the first thing I wanted to say that our egg extravaganza was a complete success. We had Mr. Cottontail visit us and took pictures with all our kids, and it was just a beautiful day. We had a wonderful time, and I just want to thank our Parks and Rec for doing such a great job. And what I'd like to do is, before I announce the special program announcements, I want everyone to know that progress is being made out at the Miracle League Playground at Municipal Park. Even with the April rain we are on track to have the grand reopening sometime in June, and I can't wait to see it, and I will keep everybody up to date. Well, we all know it's time for spring cleaning, and Parks and Rec makes it easy to get rid of some of your extra stuff with the Township Community Yard Sale scheduled for Saturday, May 21st. Register your Northampton Township home for $10 to participate in the sale and get listed on the GPS map. Or if you're a garage sale shopper, mark your calendars to download the map of many participating homes. Last day to register to be on the map is May 13th. The next day, Sunday, May 22nd, is the Bike Rodeo and Safety Day at the Civic Center, Basin. Register your child at the Parks and Rec website for this free, I'm saying it again, free event, as Parks and Rec along with our Northampton Township Police, Bucks Transportation Management Association, and Guys Bike offer safety tips, assess helmets, check maintenance, and offer a skills course to optimize your child's bike safety. In addition to celebrating our Northampton 300th anniversary, and you can see it right behind Adam, our new plaque here, to honor Bike Month, the Wheelman, a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving the heritage of American cycling, will be part of the program. Local members dressed in antique uniforms will offer demonstrations and offer educational insights and displays from a variety of old-time bikes. And you don't have to be a kid to appreciate this unique display. The public is invited to view a variety of antique bikes and learn their history from the Wheelman. I just want to say, attention high school seniors, college students, and teachers. Northampton Township Parks and Rec have a few positions remaining for camp counselors this summer. Make a difference this summer by giving the gift of a fun and safe summer for elementary kids ages 6 to 11 or middle school kids aged 12 to 14 to be a camp counselor. For more information, contact Jen Feen at 215-357-5396, extension 312. It is the best job that you will ever have. Don't miss this fantastic experience. And please check your Parks and Rec brochures. They got sent out a few weeks ago, and it's online too. And lastly, if you're thinking about sending your 3-year-old child to preschool in the fall, you don't want to wait any longer, do you? Northampton Township's preschool potpourri has a very limited spots available for 3-year-old 2-day and 3-day program. If you would like further information, contact Barbara Primavera at the Rec Center, 215-357-5396. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks, Kim.
welcome.
Paula?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, there's no reports tonight.
Okay, thanks, Paula. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few things for the Historical Commission. 2 o'clock on Sunday, May 15th at the library, there will be a ceremony to dedicate the Archives Reading Room in honor of Betty Cornell Luff and Virginia Briggs Geyer. This is an event that is open to the public. I will be there. I hope to see other members there as well. As for the Municipal Authority, there are a few announcements. As to sanitary sewers, the $3 million sanitary sewer rehabilitation project should begin in the next month, as authorization to proceed has been issued by the authority. Details and timelines of the project will be updated on the authority's website as they become available. As to public water, the authority has begun the process of installing tank mixers to enhance the quality of our drinking water. The authority has 6 above-ground storage tanks totaling 13 million gallons of storage. The project began in April and will be completed by the end of the calendar year. The NBCMA website is being redesigned. That is underway. It should make navigation more user-friendly than the existing site. It's expected to be completed early this summer. The Governor's Award for Local Government Excellence. In this month, Executive Director Thomas Zeiner was honored by the Governor's Center for Local Government Services and the Department of Community and Economic Development with a 2022 Governor's Award for Local Government Excellence. Additionally, the Authority and the Tax Office will be closed to the public Monday, May 9th. There will be a crane on site. They are actually replacing the original air conditioning unit from 1986, so hopefully their electric bills will now be going down. It's expected that the normal hours of operation will resume on May 10th. And one other bit of good news that dovetails nicely with the news about Elm Avenue. PennDOT has awarded $14,627,819 contract to James Morrissey of Philadelphia to repair and resurface 12 state roadways in Bucks County, totaling 41 miles. This includes resurfacing of 2nd Street Pike from Bustleton Pike to Swamp Road, and Alms House, Newtown, Richboro Road from Spencer Road to Holland Road. The project will begin in the late spring and is scheduled to be completed by late fall of this year. That's all I have.
Thanks. Boy, that's much needed, I'll tell you. Barry, next.
Yeah, we should pause here for a moment.
I know. We should have a moment of silence for the
So
potholes.
everybody should think about that. Bob, thank you very much. And
Everybody wanted to read that one. We were fighting about that in exec.
Yeah,
I just
but that's-
got to read that one, but I took
you
it.
think about all 2nd Street Pike within the entire township is going to be completely repaved, and Alms House all the way down from the entire strip within town. So it's fantastic. That's really good. A couple things I have, Adam, for my report. Basically, the Planning Commission meeting was actually canceled for April, but we'll have a very busy May meeting on May 10th. We've talked about before, on 960 2nd Street Pike, there's a proposed Dunkin' Donuts going there with another mixed-use store. So this is the property between the McDonald's and the Trumark. There's 3 houses there today. That's going to be combined to one parcel, and there'll be 2 buildings. There'll be one building with 2 sides to it. One side would be Dunkin' Donuts with a drive-in, and another one would be probably a destination store. But that'll be for the Planning Commission on May 10th. There's also the by right proposal being presented by the Bucks County Roses property, which is on Buck Road. That's 13 single-family houses on 1-acre zoning. So we've talked about this in the past where the developer wanted to put more of townhouses, things like that, but now they're coming back to the township proposing 1-acre houses, houses on 1 acre, which is a by right for the owner there. There's also another new subdivision on Bristol Road and Churchill Lane. That's 3-lot subdivisions being proposed at the Planning Commission. And then there's another 4-lot subdivision on Polinsky. So Polinsky had recently, about a year and a half ago, another new house put on it, and there's another 4-lot subdivision on that. Other development within the town, I'm sure a lot of people are seeing on Spring Mill Country Club. The townhouses continue to be developed there. I believe there's 175 townhouses in total. They're at a point now where I think they have about 18-month time period before you can actually, if you sign today, we can actually move into your space. That's how much activity they've had on it. The Waverly subdivision on East Holland Road is almost complete now. A lot of those houses are up, and that's moving along according to schedule. Advent Church is a new development in town on 2nd Street Pike. There's going to be 2 houses built behind that. That's been approved. And then the last thing is on Stony Ford Road in Holland. There's a development being done there, and that's in the process of being done too many. I think it's about 9 houses being built there. So a lot of activity in the town. I think it just demonstrates that people are very much attracted to Northampton Township, and they want, obviously, the good school systems and all the good neighbors and people that live here. And it's hands off to the township administration for working through with all these builders and developers, making sure everything's done according to code and everything else. The other thing I'll just mention, today was a ribbon cutting in Southampton, Upper Southampton, at the train station there for the Rails to Trails project. So the entire project from County Line Road all the way up to Bristol Road has been completed and now is fully open to the public. That road, if you pick it up in that trail, if you pick it up in Bristol, can take it all the way down to Philadelphia. It's about a 10-mile, run, walk, and it's a beautiful trail, and I would encourage people, even if you're going part of it, it's really a very safe, walkable, bikeable trail for people to go on. The commissioners of the county announced at the meeting today and there was a couple hundred, about 150 people there today, that the portion of the trail that was approved in Northampton Township from Bristol Road all the way up to the Churchill Nature Center, that's been approved by the township, and it's been approved by the county, and then the county has sought funding from it from the state, and they achieved the funding for all the engineering drawings and all the complete construction. So it's about $4.5 million that the county was successful in getting from the state back to our township, and they'll be building the rails and trails from Bristol Road all the way up to the Nature Center. When the trail stops at the Nature Center, they're also going to have a pathway that's going to be built from the train tracks, if you will, the rail trail, all the way to the Nature Center. So you have a nice walking, biking trail on that. So people are very excited about that. I wish I could say it's going to be ready next week or 2 weeks from now, but that project's probably going to be maybe planning done sometime later on this year, early next year, and it may be a project completely done in 2025, but at least there is some progress made on that. And once again, the cost of it, $4.5 million, is being paid by from the state. So one of the things this township's always tried to do is we can't stop money being sent to Harrisburg, but we certainly get the money back to this township, and that's what we try to do as many times as we can. So, and that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Barry. I have a few announcements tonight. First, I'd like, from the police department, recognize Sergeants Scher and Cully. They recently graduated from Northwestern School of Staff and Command. This is a leadership and command school for police supervisors. It's a very demanding class, requires a lot of commitment from the students. And in this case, both of our sergeants excelled in all their studies, which I'm certainly not surprised. But more importantly, they stayed working and continued to supervise their platoons all the way through the coursework, which just shows their commitment. It's not easy. So congratulations to Sergeants Scher and Cully. Also like to announce we have a new police officer hired in the township, Danielle DeSimone, badge number 100. She comes to us, she's graduated from Hatboro Horsham High School, Westchester University with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from Shippensburg. She did some intern work at Lower Southampton Police Department and also was employed by Child and Family Focus in Montgomery County, where she did some social work. So we're happy to have her, and I just will make mention that Danielle is now our third female police officer, which is really, great news. From the rescue squad, you saw them earlier tonight. They just asked that I remind everybody they are doing their subscription drive. You get something in the mail. It is real. It's a great bargain for your family. I would highly suggest signing up for it. It does cover a lot of things when you're a member there, if you ever need an ambulance. And more importantly, it also helps them fund their operation. And we certainly heard tonight how great they are and how important they are to our township. So please, if you have an opportunity, sign up for that membership. Just a quick announcement. We renewed Dr. Ken Lavelle to be our township medical director. As you may recall, we hired a medical director a couple years ago when COVID hit, and I have to say his service was invaluable to us. We had so many questions, whether it was the township employees that needed assistance, township residents who had questions, and part of Dr. Lavelle's duties as medical director, he is also the medical director for Trihampton Rescue Squad, so he looks after the emergency medical services, and he also is the medical director for the Northampton Fire Department and the fire department's medical services. So he does have a lot to do, and we're really happy to have him on board again for another year. And I think I saved one of the best for last, but I am happy to report, in the spirit of continuing to get state money into our township, Representative Wendy Thomas and Senator Tommy Tomlinson announced last week that Northampton Township Fire Department is going to receive $1 million in redevelopment assistance capital program funds to help fund the new fire station. So that's pretty exciting news. That's $1 million of state money coming back into the township to help us pay for those. And in their announcement, they talked about this funding improves community safety by dedicating resources to help build the new fire station. The current stations don't meet The current station does not meet current standards for fire department safety, health and wellness, and the maintenance and care of firefighting and the PPE. So we're very excited to get that, and we'll continue to apply for more. I think that is something that our township staff has always excelled in, looking for those opportunities and trying to get those funds to come back in. So that is all I have for this evening. Next up, manager's report. Bob?
I have nothing to report this evening.
Thanks, Bob. Assistant manager's report. Bill?
I do. Up there it is. Okay. Good evening. Just want to report that the library board recently formed a subcommittee to begin a strategic plan. In the coming months, they'll be working with a consultant through the Bucks County Library System. No charge to the township for those services. So keep an eye out in the coming months for opportunities for public input about how we'd like to see the future of the library roll out for the community. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Solicitor's report, Mr. Pizzo.
Thank you. I should announce that the Board of Supervisors met in executive session 2 times since the last meeting of the Board of Supervisors. The first executive session was held on March 30th. In attendance were, and that was conducted virtually. In attendance were the township manager, the township zoning officer, supervisors, Salzer, Gasper, Moore, and the chairman, Selisker. 2 matters of pending litigation were discussed during the executive session. No official action was taken during the executive session, and none was required this evening as a result of that executive session. The second executive session took place this evening. Present for the executive session were all 5 members of the Board of Supervisors, the township manager, the assistant township manager, the township engineer, and me. Again, 2 matters of pending litigation were discussed. No official action was taken during the executive session, and no official action was required this evening as a result of that executive session. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Engineers report, Amanda?
No report tonight, thank you.
Report. Okay, thank you. Next up is public comment. First, Brett Duffy. I'll just remind everybody the public comment rules apply. We try to keep it to 3 minutes. Name and address for the record.
Yes. Hi, my name is Brett Duffy, 125 Hope Road. First, I'd just like to thank Supervisors Adam Selisker, Kimberly Rose, and the recently retired Frank O'Donnell for doing the right thing back on November 10th, siding with their community and when they rendered no vote on the proposed Holland Superwawa project. This community has certainly not forgotten that stroke of courage. We thank you for that, and we appreciate that you kept the community's interests in mind. Now I'd like to address another matter tonight, Northampton Township's outdated zoning code, zoning ordinance, first written in 1977. It's nearly 50 years old. Several of our neighbors here tonight, as well as a vast majority of the township residents, believes that the ordinance must be updated to appropriately reflect the changes that have occurred development-wise in the past 50 years in the township. As neighbors, we would like to work with the township to amend, update, and otherwise correct the ordinance so that it better reflects the township in the 21st century. Some ideas we just have in terms of it would include increasing the percent of open spaces designated to be preserved, an edict stating that there would be at least a 500-foot setback on all gas station developments, and a design stipulation that developments adhere to the historic character of Northampton Township via lights, stucco, brick, roof lines, and so on. And in addition, we think the updated ordinance could mandate that all new 24/7 businesses get special approval under certain zoning codes, whether it be C2, C3, and so on, and sidewalks be updated to and expanded where necessary to make the township more walkable, and housing developments be required to be a certain distance apart to eliminate very, very dense communities with and to increase open space. And we think a lot of these suggested changes are reasonable, and we would hope you folks consider them, and updating the current ordinance. And additionally, we'd love to see the township create a working group consisting of residents, supervisors, perhaps the Township Planning Commission, to submit ideas and ultimately amend and update the ordinance. And I think it's pretty fair to say that a nearly 50-year-old ordinance is in need of updating. Supervisors, or rather, in the interest of the community, we'd like to see that happen, and we hope some action can be taken on that in the near future. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Next up, Tom Bucher.
Hi there.
Hello, Tom. Name and address for the record again. Thanks.
Yes. Tom Bucher, 669 Holland Road, Holland. Good to see you all again.
Hi, Tom.
So there's interest in updating zoning ordinances. It's a good idea regarding phrases like service station. According to GoRetro.com, full service stations began to be phased out following the oil crisis in the 70s. However, as the case is so often, part of the problem is enforcement. The current zoning laws do a lot to control and keep order to our progress. As an example, consider these ordinances from the Northampton Township website. 27502.1 defines the C2 specific purpose this way. The C2 General Commercial Office District is intended to provide convenient, pedestrian-oriented facilities and personal service needs of local residents. It is the specific intention of the township to limit the locations of such district and to prevent unwarranted expansion of strip-type commercial developing along the township's major streets and highways. That says a lot there. Personal service needs, pedestrian-oriented. A lot is said about lighting. Unless approved by the township, lighting structures shall not exceed 20 feet in height in shopping centers or other commercial areas and industrial office campuses. How high is the gasoline canopy? The intensity of illumination projected onto a residential use from another property shall not exceed 0.1 foot candle at the property line. A lot of the talk about that was this light that's 24/7. Lighting plans shall bear the seal and signature of the professional lighting consultant responsible for the preparation of the plan if requested by the township, was one requested. Then, apart from the lighting, getting into the physical, 27, 2014, 74, and 84. For a lot which has 3 or more road frontages, 2 frontages will be considered front yards for the purpose of setback calculations, and additional frontages will be calculated. Any lot in which the front lot and the rear lot abut upon streets or state highways, they call it a through lot. In any case, the rear building line shall be established 75 feet from the center line of the roadway and parallel to that center line. Is this requirement met? I don't know. A gasoline canopy is defined in the current zoning laws. It appears to me that a gasoline canopy fits the description of an accessory building structure or use, shall be subordinate and customarily incidental to the principal building and utilized as an accessory use on the lot occupied by the principal building. The size of the canopy counts towards the percent of the property on which the building resides. The land area occupied by the accessory building or structure shall account towards the building coverage calculations for the lot and zoning district to which it's located. Is this requirement met? As I perused the current, now this is just me, I'm just saying this myself now. As I perused the current zoning ordinances, I concluded that the gasoline canopy belongs behind the main building, and since it's on a through lot, there is no behind. I think the zoning meeting that approved the development of the right property was a COVID Zoom meeting in which the presenter said a Costco could be built on the C2 zone. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. James Rothberg.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Supervisors. I'm here to discuss...
Can you just give your name and address for the record again? And if it's easier, have a seat. If it's easier for you. You're welcome. Is that on, Bill? Just want to make sure your microphone is on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, it sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. James Rothberg, 6 Brianna Road, Holland, Pennsylvania. Now, I'm here to discuss bad news. We've had a lot of good news to discuss this evening. Now I want to discuss bad news. The bad news is the golf course. For members of the board who were not present during the vote taken, it was a 3-2 vote to approve the acquisition of the golf course for $14 million and with an expectation an additional $6 million in interest would be accrue over the cost, over the time of the loan. Mr. Pellegrino assured at that meeting that those projections could be comfortably met given the total project, primarily out of the tavern. We know today that with the pandemic, that those projections can be tossed into the circular file or the garbage bin of history. I have a proposal to minimize the risk, reduce the cost of that facility, because we know from all other projects, the pandemic has not only affected the golf course, the tavern, but a whole range of public services. And while it may eventually improve slightly, it will likely never get back to pre-pandemic levels. Now, by way of background, I'm a golfer. My father was a golfer. I'm familiar with both public and private courses. And I also serve the planning board, thank you, and the zoning board of West Windsor, dealing with golf courses. What I have in mind is the following. When you look at a driving range, it produces minimal revenue. It's an ancillary facility to the golf course. People come to play golf at the golf course. It's an excellent golf course. And whatever the merits of the decision that was made at that time, over unanimous public opposition, we have a golf course. So the proposal I have is the following. Because the driving range produces minimal revenue, what I am suggesting tonight, for consideration by the board and by other entities associated with the issue of the golf course, is to sell off the driving range for senior housing only. Senior housing, as Mr. Pellegrino previously reported, is in very substantial demand. It's in growing demand. We had Mr. Moore delivered an analysis of the market rate projects, and I'm glad to hear that they're going forward. But senior housing has a couple of very advantageous points. One, it's net accrue profit to the township. The reason is simple. You're not sending children to the school system. So it is profitable to the township. Second of all, there's a demonstrable need for it. So what I am suggesting is that, given the process of approval, that the township supervisors and other affiliated entities sell the golf course to bidders who are willing to bid to buy senior housing. Now, the initial period of time before it can be refunded in part or in whole was 7 years. So money would go into an escrow fund available at the time to reduce the amount of debt and associated interest. I think that this would be, given the state that we're in now, whatever the merits were at the time of the acquisition, we have a hemorrhaging situation with the golf course. And I would propose that we reduce the cost of both the principal and the debt associated with that principal to make the situation a better situation than it is now. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking. Next up, I'll give you a chance to get up. Diane Marazzo?
Thank you.
Name and address for the record, please.
Diane Morazzo, 2423 2nd Street Pike, Newtown, Wrightstown.
Yeah, that's not Northampton, right?
No.
Okay.
But I'm your neighbor, and I travel here a lot, so I'm glad to hear about the roads, right? So I'm here because I have a comment in reference to the decision of the Court of Common Pleas from the hearing on April 4th, 2022, on the Wawa case regarding zoning interpretation. So Judge Denise Bowman has remanded the decision to the Zoning Hearing Board, where Wawa must prove that gas is entirely incidental to their operation. For the record, there is evidence that the Zoning Hearing Board chairman has had business dealings with Wawa at least 3 times that we know of, going back to 2017 in Falls Township, 2018 in Addisville Commons in Richboro, where the Wawa is, and more recently, the case of Kira versus Wawa Inc. in 2021. So it's where Joseph P. Koval, an attorney for Fenningham Dempster and Koval, represented the Wawa directly. These are only 3 times that we know of. It is requested that the zoning board chairman recuse himself from the upcoming hearing and decision as a current supervisor had previously. When the supervisor did this right thing by recusing himself from the supervisor's decision, since he had business dealings also with Wawa. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Arvind Kaval. Good evening, Doc. Name and address for the record, please.
Arvind Kavle, 90 Hope Road. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes. I'd just like to take this opportunity to dovetail on all the discussions you guys have had in terms of the 300-year anniversary, et cetera, and how to make our community more improved, better for the community as well as for the visitors. As far as I have seen, Americans in general have had great trust in their institutions and their institutional leaders, especially local leaders. However, I've seen over the last few years that this trust, there's been a general erosion of trust in our public institutions and our public leaders, our public officials. And I've noticed also that it has created a lot of acrimony and divisiveness. And this is really not a sign of a healthy nation or a healthy community. As a physician, I always look at people as the cause of why their illness occurs. And part of the discussions earlier alluded to that. The intent of my testimony today is not to point fingers, but rather point to opportunities where we can actually develop and build relationships in the community. And I believe that together we can fix these things. And as our local leaders, the board now has the opportunity, like Brett said before me, to make use of a community's willingness and ability to partner with the community leaders. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage the board to seize the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't believe there are any other public comments. With no other business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Good night.